Welcome to Catholic Views. I'm your host, Renee Kranz. On today's show, we will have the newly ordained Father Jacob Doty. He is a new priest for the Diocese of Sioux Falls. He'll be here to talk about his recent ordination and his call to the priesthood. He was a great guest on, so I hope you'll join us for the interview. I think you will enjoy it. Now, first we can hope to enjoy some biblical bites with Dr. B.
Before you can get to Father Doty, you have to survive Dr. Bergwald.
Yes, we have to get through
Dr. B. Bergwald. Yes. So, never mind. What's today,
Renee? It's the 13th
day,
Sunday Ordinary Time. 12th.
Look, I get to...
12th.
2 weeks in a row, I get to use the buzzer.
12th. It is the 12th Sunday in Ordinary Time. So, we're going to jump right into it this week.
Okay.
The gospel reading the first reading for today, I think we've talked about this before. Oftentimes, almost all the time, the first reading and the gospel, and typically actually the psalm as well, are somehow related.
Right.
So if you sort of pay attention to not just like listen to the readings, but kind of think about what you've already heard, you'll see thematic connections between first reading, psalm, and gospel.
Right.
The second reading, it's called semi-continuous, so it's usually, I think we've been in, the 2 Corinthians has been the daily readings lately. The second reading, St. Paul's second letter to the Corinthians has been the second reading. So this Sunday, the 12th Sunday in Ordinary Time, for this year, the first reading is from Job, and it's the Lord addressing Job out of the storm, saying, Who shut within doors the sea when it burst forth from the womb? When I made the clouds and its garments and thick darkness its swaddling bands. When I set limits for it and fastened the bar of the door and said, Thus far shall you come no farther. Here shall your proud waves be stilled. So God is saying to Job, this is what I, as God, have done. Mm-hmm. The gospel reading for today is from the end of chapter 4 of Mark's gospel. And it's Jesus and the disciples, and I'm going to point out some details, but they cross over the Lake of Galilee to the western shore. But on the way, there's a storm that arises.
Did you call it the Lake of Galilee?
The sea? Did I say the lake? Uh-huh. Sea of Galilee. The eastern. I was just in Minnesota.
Is this a new one?
15,000 lakes.
Okay.
No, the Sea of Galilee. They cross over the western shore. So this is where there's a storm that arises. Mm-hmm. And where's Jesus, Renee? Do you remember the story?
He's sleeping in the boat, if I remember
in the stern.
Yeah.
And Mark's gospel, being tradition says, and many scholars agree that Mark's primary source was Peter.
Right.
So there's an interesting detail. Jesus was asleep in the stern on a
boat.
Of the stern of the boat.
Yeah, okay. Like what?
Cushion.
Oh.
It's sort of a random detail.
Yeah, that is, isn't it?
It's thrown in, but Jesus was asleep on the cushion. And the disciples say to Jesus, Teacher, do you not care that we're perishing? He woke up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, Quiet, be still. The wind ceased. There's a great calm. Then he asked them, Why were you terrified? Are you terrified? Do you not yet have faith? They were filled with great awe and said to one another, Who is this whom even winds and sea obey? Winds and sea. So if you're paying attention to the readings, Job. Mm-hmm. So why does that matter? Because in the Gospels in general, there's one person who has power over nature. Technically three, but you know what I mean. God.
Right.
So Jesus here has not yet told the disciples, hey, guess what? I'm God. Right. He's smarter than that. But by his actions, he's revealed that he is God. But there's a couple other interesting details that I want to point out to this. So they're going to the west side of the Sea of Galilee, which is Gentile land.
Oh, okay.
And if you go ahead and next Sunday's gospel skips over the story, this is where Jesus casts out a bunch of demons out of a possessed man into the herd of pigs. And
herd probably isn't right.
And they run into the sea. So this is Gentile territory where they're going as they cross the sea. So Jesus, this is one of his few trips outside of the Holy Land, outside of Israel, to the Gentiles.
Okay.
Normally his mission is, but this is one of them where he goes So he possesses, or he exercises this man. But already in this story, there's a hint of Jesus's power, not just over nature, but even over the forces of evil. Because when in English we read "quiet, be still," the Greek word is actually "be muzzled."
Oh,
So it's like Mark doesn't come on saying, we don't know. It could have just been a storm, but there may have been some little extra push behind this storm. And what Jesus is going to do, if you read into chapter 5, right after this, he's going to cast out thousands of demons from this poor possessed man. So Jesus in Sunday's gospel is revealing his authority over nature, his authority over the demons, and he's showing that he himself is God. And then there's this question at the end, who is this then whom even wind and sea obey? And that's a question that Mark poses to you and me today. Who do we say that Jesus is?
well, we say God, right?
Amen.
All right. Thanks, Dr. B.
You bet.